You're listening to Wanna Coffee with Kai Alicia.
And Adriana.
Talking
Random.
sensible
shit.
A very interesting topic, and something of which I try to live by in my life, but I think can be looked at in a variety of different ways and has its advantages and disadvantages, um, depending on just where you are in the world and how you see yourself, and lots of different things. But I feel like that's probably where I think about minimalism. What about you?
Well, it's really interesting because it depends, like the way you see minimalism, it depends on the way of how you landed and said, okay, this is a nice way to live. For example, for me, I would say that I became minimalist because I was a broke uni student. I was like, coming from home where I had everything and my parents provided, and I didn't feel for anything. And then suddenly I went for uni and I was like, no, you have to make most of your resources, and you have to actually value what you have, because things are not going to be there all the time. Like, okay, it was good that you had your parents, but now you're on your own. So I think that from that I started uh valuing things and say, okay, I'm going to have a few things that was back there, but I'm going to appreciate it more. And instead of so many things that you can just downsize and think, okay, I do not need to have so many things. I just need to have uh just few things, and then my life um will work better. Like, say, instead of having 7 kids, you can have just one. And or instead of hoarding, oh, I have the money and I can have 5 cars, you will say, oh, might as well take the bus or just have one car for the family. So how do you experience minimalism?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, um, yeah, it's interesting how I came to minimalism. Um, I guess I came to minimalism, or living, let me say, living minimalistically or minimally, um, through, because my parents are hoarders. I feel like they're hoarders. They have so much stuff, and um, it is likely how where they're from. So for my parents and their generation, the more you had, um, you know, you earned it, or you had money and that was a good thing. You could afford things. So, it was seen as something great, and for me, and I think my siblings, just having so much stuff and having 4 other siblings in the house, it was just, I'd say for my personality, and probably also for my brothers and my sister, um, it was just really overwhelming. And then so when I moved out on my own in college, I just didn't want a lot of things, and I didn't want to move with a lot of things. And um, we moved a lot growing up. And we always had so many things that we moved, little knickknacks, little mementos, little, just things you just couldn't throw away. And so I just didn't want anything. And so that's where, um, that's where I kind of adopted this lifestyle of just not needing a lot of things. And as a result, it it also has helped me think clearer. So having less things in the house gives me an opportunity to imagine. It gives me an opportunity to create. It gives me an opportunity to think about different things because I'm less distracted with, oh, there's that to look at and that to clean or that to wipe down and that to focus on. And um, it gives my mind, I think, a level of space. So,
Yeah, I think like what you have said about parents being like that, being a little bit of hoarders, or clutterers. I think we can all relate. Like their generation, I think they're baby boomers,
mhm,
roughly. So I think the fact that they come from, you know, their parents, the meaning or grandparents, uh, they come from recession, and when things weren't that available, or you have to have a lot of money to get things, and things that were not mass produced, so everything was sort of unique, or sort of, it wasn't accomplished to get something or to do something. So I think they grew with that mentality, and then now maybe it doesn't click now that the more you have things is not it doesn't necessarily mean that you have, like, in their times, more quality, or the value of things were better. Now you just see it as, oh, you don't see it as a possession, as something that will be useful, but you're maybe thinking, oh, that will be waste sometime, because its lifespan is not going to be that long. So you're just accumulating
mhm,
things that somehow they're going to be um, discarded eventually.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess also I feel a little bit like I'm coming from a place of privilege because you're right in that I won't say that my parent my I'd say that my mom grew up not necessarily poor, but not having a lot of money, and my father probably more on the middle class side. But both of my parents still valued and still value a lot of things, having a lot of things. And um, we always had a lot of things growing up. Me and my siblings and I always had a lot of things growing up. So, in that, I guess my thinking is that because we had so much, we know what it's like to have so much, and so we've reasoned and seen, well, we don't really need so much. But I do think about some of my friends or some of the people I do know who haven't grown up with much or haven't grown up with similar um, like a similar background or you know, we're not as privileged. Um, I do see what they value and more, and what I can tell is the more that they have, the better. So sometimes I think it is generational, and I think that it is a bit of that baby boomer thing. But then I also realize it may have something to do with just money, and I think that to some regard minimalism is based people who can talk about minimalism and talk about it like it's a thing and a great thing to do and a positive thing to do more often than not have experienced ease or comfortableness when it comes to money or financial like freedom or um, privilege. Um, I never really hear poor people talking about poor people talking about minimalism or I always hear them wanting more, and wanting a lifestyle of which is full of things. So there's something a bit for me sad about it, even though I feel that it is the way to go. I
Mhm.
do feel that minimalism is the way to go, because I think we're realizing the smarter, not the smarter we get as generations go on, but the more information we know, um, the more we realize that we don't need as much. So I think that as a result, people are getting more and more, you know, into this culture of just not needing as much. Um, but but
Hmm.
I sometimes struggle with the idea of minimalism, because I feel a little guilty about it sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, mhm.
But oh, okay, that it would be like minimalism in terms of possessions and having things.
Mhm.
What about, say, for example, something that can apply to all of us? You know, being orderly. Like not having um mm, say the way you organize things or the way you think or you try to decorate, because one thing is, say for example, to people that they have the same amount of money, they will have uh say $10,000, and the way they can, and they could be satisfied about what they have. But one person could decorate the place, let's say a room, really minimalistic, and they will get like one sofa that will be $5,000, and one lamp that is going to be another 5,000, and maybe other person will just get little tiny things that is going to be uh all in all is going to be $10,000. So my point is, maybe what do you think about, say, um the need for the clutter, the need to have a space that is real, and then again the need of having things tidy and organized, because that's another form,
Mhm.
I think, of minimalism.
Mhm. Mhm. I think I don't think many people are tidy. I think that but I do think that we're moving into like a type of culture where minimalism, outside of tidiness, so just having less, is more attractive. So I recognize that, like, people have attached tidiness to minimalism, but I don't actually think, um, unless it's like some kind of a movement that I am not aware of. My assumption with minimalism is just less,
Hmm. Okay.
not not really attached to how you.
So you can be a messy minimalist, you reckon?
Yeah,
Ah.
I think so. I
If you
think
have
just,
three things but they're just spread all over the place.
well, because I suppose that's just like the way you live your life. That's the order. That's the how to, as opposed
Hmm.
to, like, I have, I'd say, and so in terms of my clothes and my shoes, let's say, I have a closet full of clothes, and there's a top and a bottom, and then I have underwear and pajamas and things like that in a drawer, and that's it. But that's a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's it may not look like a lot to, I don't know, to my mom and my dad, as an example. But like, um, there's probably like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 shirts, something like that. Maybe I have like four different jackets for winter. Um, and I suppose if I was really a minimalist, maybe I'd have like 2 or 3 or maybe 7 different outfits or something like that. Because I remember watching some kind of a documentary about minimalism that these 2 guys on
Oh,
Netflix.
yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, we talked about this. Yes. And I remember thinking like, is that what it takes? I'm not sure that I'd be able to rid, because I like different style and I feel like that's expressive and um but yeah,
Yeah, but I think it maybe is, you can choose the area of where you want to be minimalist. I think, because if not, everyone will be like a monk. Just have one pair of shoes, and this is what I wear every day, and I just eat rice and fish every day because my life is it's so minimal. So I think the best thing is that maybe I associate being minimalist with having control with your life, expressed in a different way. So for example, I could be I tend to be minimalist, with my clothing. All of my clothing, they are like, not now because when I moved here I just brought my luggage, one suitcase, and that was it. But usually it's just really dark pants and light, white or gray or beige t-shirts, and you will see that I won't vary from that. And I think that that's how I express my minimalism. But then again, I'm a big hoarder for skin products and skincare and makeup, and I don't even use them, but there's something that I want more. I don't mind the clutter. I just find that really, really, really pretty, and I just like it, and I just enjoy it. And maybe for some people, regular people will say, hey, you have way too much. So I think it's maybe you express it in different ways.
Yeah, it's interesting. My friend told me about this class. That book, The Art of Tidying Up?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's taken this class and it's like 10 series and they're like these short videos with I think the author of the book. I think it's the author. Something Coney or something. Coney.
Oh,
something
Mary
like
Kondo.
that. Yes. Is that the author? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Okay. So, anyway, I'm really looking forward to taking it, but I also am like, I wonder what kind of, because my friend spoke about it being completely life changing. And I'm a very tidy, organized, in control type of a person, like I always try to be in control of myself, my surroundings, my anything, And I think to myself, oh my God, I don't know what kind of, like, what is next, Like,
Yeah.
what kind of, will I have to strip away, my love for candy or, like, I don't, like, because apparently this is just like a whole type of next level type thing where you remove the things, the people, the toxins, the environment, the patterns, the habits that are unnecessary.
Yeah. I didn't read the book, but I watched the TV show, and like the key for everything that she said, it was like, if you see something that you have, and if that thing doesn't gives you joy, then you can throw it out. Because if it doesn't make you happy, then why do you have it? And you don't use it, doesn't make you happy, then
What's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the case with that is like a lot of people, like you will see those houses and they were hoarders and they were like, oh, I have this extra pair of, I don't know, this extra pair of suitcases that I never wore them and I just bought them because they were on sale and blah blah blah. But and I thought I was going to use them, but I just used them once, and then you have it there. It's like, okay, does it bring you joy? And they were like, no, I really don't like it. And I think that maybe the moral of the story with her was that, yeah, you have to, not only do you just have to get rid of what you have, but only to be a little bit more conscious of what you buy. Like, you know, instead of, maybe you can still spend your money, have so many things, but at least have something that you will enjoy and use for a long time.
Thanks for listening. We want to know what you think.
Send us your comments and follow us on Twitter and Facebook
at #WannaCoffeePod.